In today's rapidly evolving world of social media, we find ourselves standing in a landscape of information exchange that both overwhelms and enlightens. It's a curious mix where everyone's voice has the potential to contribute to a broader tapestry of understanding. With persistence and dedication, one can sift through the noise to discover kernels of truth hidden beneath layers of misdirection. Traditional media, particularly mainstream news outlets, often feel like they're spinning tales that are more about grabbing attention than presenting facts. They're like politicians caught in a perpetual cycle of controversy and hype, more concerned with viewer counts than with genuine engagement with the issues at hand. Their aim, it seems, is neither to educate nor to empathize, but to reel in as many eyeballs as possible, driven by the single-minded pursuit of ratings, often at the public's expense. But social media? That's a different sort of beast altogether. Here, individuals aren't bound by the directives of a large corporation or beholden to the whims of executives chasing quarterly profits. Instead, they operate in a space where personal achievement is the name of the game, where success is defined by engagement and authenticity rather than strict adherence to a scripted narrative. True, this doesn't mean social media is an untainted resource. Far from it. Misinformation, fake news, and sensationalism thrive here as well. But there's a unique transparency in watching individuals who can choose to reveal who they really are. It's a space where individual motivations shine clearer and feedback is more immediate. When you witness someone's personal passion, it's compelling. That spark is something traditional media, with all its corporate gears and polished facades, struggles to replicate. Passion wears many faces and speaks many languages, all of which climb towards personal growth rather than the machinations of a corporate-led hierarchy. Mainstream media cultivates a different sort of enthusiasm, one that's more about climbing the ladder and less about genuine fervor for storytelling or knowledge sharing. It's easy to see how the two differ. In mainstream media, people become parts of a machine. They are required to fit into a pre-existing narrative brushstroke, a strategy constructed by rooms full of minds intent on controlling perception and directing the public flow. Contrast that with the backdrop of passion-driven creators on social platforms, for whom sharing an unadulterated version of their truth is paramount. This is a grassroots movement of sorts, where the community becomes the stage, and everyone has the opportunity to be their own director, unclouded by the weight of corporate influence. These creators are drawn to their passions, compelled by a force stronger than mere monetary gain, real compassion coupled with the perseverance to drive meaningful dialogue, to shape understanding beyond the confines of mainstream narratives. This isn't to demonize mainstream media entirely. They too have their role, ideally as gatekeepers of thoroughly vetted information. Yet when their borders are tainted by strategic manipulations designed to trick rather than inform, we must question both their motives and their practices. When the supposed watchdogs of our democracy are tangled in webs of misinformation, how are we to trust them to enforce truth? In a world where information is power, the importance of discernment becomes all the more critical. The infusion of false narratives into the public consciousness is not merely an annoyance, it's a potential threat to the fabric of society. The dissemination of inaccurate or manipulated information acts as a formidable obstruction. What could be perceived as a violation of moral rights, if not treated as a criminal act downright? If laws are enacted and enforced on the basis of faulty data, can justice truly prevail? Isn't there a danger in an uninformed or misled public seeking justice on shaky ground? It leads one to muse on the responsibility we bear, not just media creators or distributors, but all of us as participants in this vast information economy. We must recognize deception for what it is, a blinding smokescreen that clouds our ability to perceive reality and make informed decisions. We must endeavor to separate fact from fiction, sincerity from showmanship. Yet, some might argue that social media platforms themselves pose a risk of echo chambers, environments where we are comforted by voices that mirror our own beliefs, seldom challenging us with opposing views. Is this labyrinth of shared opinions, however, not also an opportunity, a chance to learn, to grow, a platform where, Through active engagement and critical questioning, we might find fragments of truth that might otherwise remain hidden. The journey is not simple. It requires that we remain vigilant, scrutinizing the motivations behind the content we consume. And it demands we challenge ourselves, looking beyond the surface, questioning until we are satisfied that what we see is not a reflection tainted by someone else's agenda. As we navigate through this intricate web, let us be the torchbearers of our own educational journeys, applying the lessons learned to ensure not only our personal growth, but also societal resilience against the tides of deceit. In doing so, we not only become better consumers of information, but also better citizens of the world at large. Ultimately, it's not about choosing between social and mainstream media as dichotomies. It's about harnessing the power of both, using each as tools to cut through deceit and emerge with truth in hand. Inform yourself, engage thoughtfully, and let the integrity of your pursuit for knowledge be the beacon that leads to a brighter, more enlightened world for all. Imagine a world where the quest for knowledge is as dynamic and multifaceted as the environment we're surrounded by. Social media and mainstream outlets should serve not as separate realms, but as threads that weave the complex tapestry of awareness. In this landscape, being an active participant means questioning the narratives presented to us, diving deeper, seeking diverse viewpoints, and fundamentally challenging our own beliefs. This, dear listeners, is truly the essence of an evolving conscious society. So how do we practically accomplish this integration? For starters, approach each news story as though it is a book of many chapters. Scan multiple sources across the spectrum to build a fuller picture, one that isn't confined to echo chambers or biases. Often, by placing a story within a broader global context, we're able to achieve a more nuanced understanding of its implications. Furthermore, recognize the power of your voice in this digital era. Platforms allow us not just to consume information, but to contribute to it, shaping the discourse. Whether through comments, shares, or original content, each of us has the capacity to influence how narratives unfold and are perceived. This democratization of information confers a massive responsibility to ensure what we put out into the world is both thoughtful and accurate. Let us not forget the art of critical thinking, an essential skill in deciphering what resonates as truth amidst the noise. Educate yourself on how information is constructed and disseminated. Recognize common tactics used in fake news or misleading headlines. Strengthen your ability to spot logical fallacies and emotional manipulations, which are often employed to sway opinions. Beyond individual effort, fostering spaces where healthy dialogue thrives is vital. Engage with communities that prioritize evidence-based discussions and encourage diverse perspectives. It's within these environments that empathy grows and societal understanding advances. Moreover, support initiatives and outlets committed to journalistic integrity and transparency. Understanding the business of news and TV pressures those industries face can also encourage a more empathetic readership and viewership. As we move forward, the relationship between social media and mainstream news will continue to evolve. Our role as informed participants is to guide this evolution towards a more educated and connected society. By embracing the tools of both realms wisely, rooted in integrity, let us make the conscious choice to be creators and curators of information that enlightens rather than divides. Together, let's contribute to a legacy of truth-centric dialogue, one that honors the complexity of the world we live in, and in doing so, become champions of an informed, vibrant future.